What's up, guys? Glenn with Hustler Hacks. This video is jam-packed with content. It might be a little ranty, it might be a little personal, but it might be the one video that gets you into reselling, paying off debt, making your own YouTube channel, writing a blog, doing something that you love, and of course making money off of that. And I might have some new subscribers and followers based off of the article written about me on Clark.com. I posted the link on my Facebook page, Hustler Hacks, and I was contacted by Mike. You can see him right here. Mike from Clark.com. Clark Howard has been around for a long time. Syndicated radio show, talks about making money, saving money, and his website is just jam-packed with articles and tips and everything. So definitely check it out if you get a chance. I'm also going to put the link in the description. But Mike interviewed me over the phone and just talks a little bit about my story and how I, made money and paid off the debt that I had, student loans and car loans and credit card loans, which kind of sucks because a lot of the credit card loans that I had was based off of the books that I bought for college. So there you go. But let's get into the tips. And tip number 10, college and other debt. So I want you to ask yourself, if you're getting into college, maybe other debt could be you're buying a car, you're buying a house, you're making big purchases. What are you getting into? Are you reading the fine details? Are you prepared for debt and what comes with that? And I don't know, when I was 18 and 19, I was pushed just like a lot of other Americans are that college is the way to go. You're going to go to school, you're going to get your bachelor's degree, your master's degree, your master's, your doctorate. You're going to get, a whole bunch of degrees and these papers are going to signify everything that you do. I'm not here to bash college. I'm just here to let you know that college debt is a serious thing, especially in the US, and a lot of people are not prepared for it. And like I said, when I was 18 and 19 years old, I was told these things. Don't worry about debt. You're gonna pay it off. Just get your degree. It's all that matters. And college is a business that is it's crazy because you don't get any refunds when it comes to college. You don't, if you can't understand your teacher, maybe your teacher sucks, maybe your teacher or your professor, I should say, um, I don't know, just doesn't teach the course very well. No refunds. Maybe you dropped out of the class because something serious happened to you or your family. You're not going to get your money back. Maybe you didn't pass the class because you didn't even care and you partied most of the time. No refunds. It's the only business that you can't get your refund on an item or product or service. It's crazy to think about, but it's true. And just think about it before you get into college debt. So I went to University of Texas at El Paso, and you're probably gonna ask yourself, where is that? What is it? And I tell people the movie Glory Road is based off of this school. The only um, NCAA basketball champs in Texas, 1966, that long ago. UTEP. That's where I went. Bachelor of Art, Graphic Design, minor in Communication Studies. And when I graduated, I had $250 a month was my payment for 10 years on my student loan. So overall, I was scheduled to pay about 30 grand, and they were going to make around 7 grand. Well, the banks were going to make around 7 grand from me off interest. And of course, I cut that in half, and I paid that off in about 4.5 years or so. And it was pretty awesome to pay it all off. It was an awesome feeling, I can tell you that much, because I never thought it would get to that point. And like I talked about, once I got that degree, I started working full time, had that career, and I only had that one check per month, one income. And when I started off, I was making 28,000 a year, I think was my income. And the reason I put being part of the system was because that's what most people do. You go to school, you get your degree, you get your career job, and you're going to work 30 years until you're retired. And then if you hit retirement, and then you can collect that retirement money, which is a lot less than your original check, and then you can just chill and rest, and you're going to be 60 plus, and then Social Security comes your way and everything. Well, what if I don't want to make good money? what if I want to make great money? And what if I want to make great money a lot sooner than 30 years and retire and all that stuff? So I was being part of the system, and there's nothing wrong with being part of the system. If that's what you like and that's what you want to do, go for it. But I'm telling you that it wasn't enough to pay for my car loans, phone bill, student loans, and the credit card payments. Like I said, when I had the big time payments with my books, and I had one of my geology books was 250 bucks, and I never opened it. I passed the class with a B, and that was that. So just to tell you where some of that money went when it came to school. And yeah, it kind of sucks to paying for stuff that you never used and never really cared about. But it is what it is. And being part of the system, I knew that, going up that corporate ladder wasn't going to be something that I wanted to do. I wasn't very happy. And not because of where I worked, because I made a lot of good friends and I still talk to a lot of the people there and a lot of the people that I worked for and worked with. I love all these people, and I still go by. I still work with them with the family business, and when they still order stuff. And it wasn't about that. It was about making the one check a month, and what college told me and promised me and everything. I believed in it, as a lot of people do, and that was just being part of the system. So I knew that I needed to make a change and I needed to make more money, but most importantly, I wanted to do what made me happy. And working 8 to 5 and having to go in certain days or working extra hours and overtime, but still collecting that same amount of money. You don't get paid for that stuff. It just took its toll on me. And my dad would tell me too, it doesn't matter if they pay you 60,000, 80,000, 100,000. You're not happy there, you're not going to want to do anything else with that job. You're just still going to be unhappy. It doesn't matter how much they pay you. If you're unhappy, you're unhappy, and you're going to have to do what makes you happy. Totally agree. So with tip number 9, I want you to ask yourself, do you want to be one of these people that goes through the whole system? You get your money, and then, you stick to that one check. Or do you want to create extra income for yourself? And like I said, nothing wrong with it. But I did notice that me and a lot of other people, if I get laid off, what am I going to do? If I get fired, what am I going to do? This is my only income. This is the only check that I get. Am I prepared for anything else? Am I prepared to get let go? Obviously, I wasn't. I had less than $1,000 in my account. At one point, I was so proud of myself of building it up. I was like, oh, $500, like I'm finally saving some money. Like, it felt like with the student loans and the money I was making and everything that was coming down that I would never pay it off. It felt like this interest rate was higher than my car loans and all the other stuff that I had. It was crazy. It just felt like it was never ending. So tip number 8, I want you to also remind yourself that everybody's in different situations financially, and I don't want you to look at somebody else and be like, oh man, I'm jealous, I want to be like them, and it gets you in this like depressed mode that you just want to be like somebody else. Be yourself, because you're in a different situation. People are in they have medical bills to pay. People have the student loans. People have credit card debt. People have the car loans to pay off. Some people are making a lot of money. Some people aren't making that much money. Everybody's in different situations. So don't compare yourself to anybody else. Worry about yourself and live the life that you want. Be happy. That's what's most important. So that's tip number 8. Tip number 7, you got to ask yourself, what do I want to do? And this tip goes into the top 10 money-making opportunities available right now that's on my channel, which you can definitely check out if you haven't watched it already. I talk about reselling, freelance, YouTube, blogs, investing, physical products or services that you want to get to online. These opportunities are out there, so you got to ask yourself, what do I want to do? And blogs might be what you want. Maybe you want to start a blog on gardening because you love gardening. Maybe you want to start a YouTube channel on Music. You love music, you want to start a YouTube channel about it. Reselling, I got into because I had done a little bit of sales on eBay, and I just loved the hunt of finding stuff, and I love just seeing like the little updates. Oh, someone just bought something. I was like, oh man, that's cool. Like I didn't have to do anything. Like I was at work and someone bought something from me, and then I'll ship it out in the morning or whatever. And it's just cool to get those little cha-ching, those little alerts come out, and you're like, oh man, that's cool. So I was interested in the whole reselling thing. I was interested in finding stuff, digging stuff, and going to garage sales and all that. So it was just awesome. I just loved doing it, and of course YouTube came along, and then Merch by Amazon came along, and all these things, you know, came along through the years. But I had to start off with something, and I asked myself, what did I want to do to make some extra money? And reselling was it. So tip number 6, what is your niche? What do you like? What is your passion? And before I get into the do not do something for quick money part, this is a very important thing because, like I said, if your passion is gardening, then you can start off with gardening. If, let's say you do want to get into reselling, what is your niche? So for me, jerseys, shoes, video games. Those were the things that I knew the most about. Jerseys and shoes for sure because I grew up watching NBA, NFL. I was a fan. Um, I remember I wanted to buy shoes back in the day that I loved back in fourth grade, fifth grade. I think I really wanted the Pippins. I really wanted the up-tempos. And I had to settle for the Frank Thomas Reebok, you know, those zebra striped shoes, because my mom was going to spend these crazy amount of money on shoes, but I really, really wanted them. And later on, when 8th grade, 7th grade, I think I was working with the family business. I worked after school, and my mom, she made it a point that I was going to work for my money. I wasn't just going to get stuff. That's not the way the world works. So I worked hard, I saved up my money, and I bought some Space Jam 11s back in 8th grade, and I remember wearing them on the basketball team and everything. Those shoes have disintegrated. They're gone to nothing now. But I'm gonna ask yourself, what is your niche? So for me, like I said, jerseys, shoes, video games. I grew up playing Nintendo and Super Nintendo and eventually into PlayStation. So video games is what I knew as well. So if your niche is women's clothing, I would definitely start off there when you go to thrifting and garage sales and you look for those items. If your niche is old school vintage items or toys or collectibles when it comes to, let's say, records, music, record players, everybody has a different niche that they know, that they feel like they have a little bit more knowledge about. So you're going to get into that first. What do you like? What is your passion? You can't say, I'm going to start off with women's clothing and you know nothing about women's clothing. You have no passion for women's clothing because you're not going to do well. You're not interested in it. You don't have a passion for it. So start off with that when it comes to reselling or a blog or a YouTube channel. That's where you want to start off, what you love and what you know. And do not do something for quick money because everything takes time. Nothing's going to be overnight. You're not going to make a bunch of money from one day to the next if you don't know where to start. It's just not going to happen. Things take time. So patience is key. Tip number 5. And I started off with eBay, Craigslist. Those are the only 2 things I started off with. I didn't even know anything about Amazon FBA. OfferUp wasn't there yet. YouTube, of course, was there, but I really didn't know how much money you could make. I really didn't care about that money part. I just cared about reselling and flipping and doing things. So patience was key. eBay, Craigslist. Some things sold in a week. Some things sold in a month. Some things took 2 to 3 months. But I had to be patient. I had to grow. I had to build up my arsenal of what I knew and spending money and then making money, reinvesting that money. It took a lot of time. And that first year was strictly garage sales. I didn't even go to thrift stores. I didn't go to Savers or Goodwill or anything like that. I did go to the swap meets or flea markets, but garage sales was like the main thing. Me and my friend Lonnie, we hit up the garage sales every single Saturday. I got up at 5, went to his house, and then me and him were in his truck, and we went off and picked up random items like one of the Disney statues fit in his truck. So, that's where I started. So patience is key because nothing is going to happen overnight. I can tell you that much right now. Tip number 4, you got to ignore the haters. And people say, hey, well, you resell shoes, you're a reseller. That's true. I do resell. I resell a lot of things and I want to make money. That's what I want to do, and I want to help people, and I want to do what I love. So, these haters might come from your own family. They could say, "Oh, they're starting a blog on gardening. That's cute. Cool. Nice." And then behind your back, they could say, "Oh, did you know so and so starting like a little blog on gardening? Did you know they're starting a YouTube channel? Huh, that's cool. We'll see if that takes them anywhere. We'll see if anything happens there. We'll see if, oh, did you know so and so is starting garage sales or they're starting to sell stuff on eBay? That's a cute little side business. We'll see where that takes them." It sucks, but it's true. You gotta ignore it and you gotta keep going. It actually might fuel your fire to keep going and to keep building what you're doing as far as your YouTube channel or reselling or whatever. I know that um, it definitely fueled me because uh, on Facebook, I was also part of some Facebook groups that sell jerseys, shoes, so and so. This one guy, I was part of his group. He sells jerseys. I posted on there a picture of like a lot of jerseys that I was selling because I find jerseys all the time. It's what I know. And then next day, I was gone, deleted from the Facebook group. So this dude also sells jerseys, like I said. And if you're the admin of a group, you can delete anybody at any time. So I never flicked on anybody or anything like that. He deleted me because he's a hater. And I just told myself, cool, I'm out. I would see this guy too. I'm not gonna beg anybody to get into a group. I'm not gonna beg and be like, oh well, I saw you deleted me and blah blah blah. Nope, it fueled me to do even better. I told myself, you know what? I'm gonna dominate eBay even more. I'm gonna dominate Craigslist even more. I'm gonna dominate other Facebook groups that I can make money on because I could care less if one guy hates on me because I'm gonna find out how I'm gonna make my money in other ways. And this is the same thing with people that, my other reselling buddies, I should say, Steve Rakin, Chris the Bonafide Hustler, Resell Rabbit. They also get a bunch of comments that people could say, oh, you're ruining the reselling business. You're giving away all your secrets. You're telling everybody what you find and how much money you make. If you're scared what my videos say, then you shouldn't even be reselling. I can tell you that right now. If you're scared what other people are doing and making money, then get out of it. Because you don't have the strength, confidence, and business mentality to keep on going if you're scared of what other people are doing. So, there you go. Tip number 3. What is important to you? So, let's say now you've built up a following, let's say on YouTube, or you've built up a following on your blogs, or you're gaining momentum on merch. You've made your first $100 a month. You've reselling. You've made your first 50, $100, $200. Okay, so why are you doing this? Do you want to do this because you want to take some vacations? You want to pay off your bills? You want to make extra money? You want to spend more time with your family? You figure, hey, this is a pretty cool side hustle. I'm making some money from it. Cool, I enjoy it. I love it. I'm going to keep working at my regular job. I'm going to keep this as a side hustle, and I'm going to do this because I want to take some vacation. I want to pay off my student loans, and I could do this with that money, and then with my regular money, I can pay off the house and the other stuff. I want to be debt free. So figure out what is important to you because you got to have some goals. You can't just be doing stuff just cuz. I mean, what are your goals on YouTube? My goal is eventually I do want to hit the 100,000 mark. It's going to take time, effort, content, a lot of my own ability to, push out great videos, and I want to get to that point. And I know there's a lot of people too that do great stuff, and they also motivate me to do even better. So You gotta find out what is important to you. Number two, you always learn new things and continue to grow. So videos, books, tutorials, and you know, garage sales was the first thing that I was kind of really doing, but after a while, I was researching YouTube. I was like, I wonder how many other people do this. How many other people resell stuff? During that time, Chris the Bonafide Hustler and Steve Rakin were the only two people that really like I was just interested in their videos. They're like, man, they do the stuff that I do. They go to garage sales. Like, that's cool. I want to follow them. I want to see what they do. And then as time went on, it's like I started getting books, Gary Vee. I started getting some books, tutorials. I started looking stuff online. What can I learn? How do I sell on Amazon FBA? I reinvested my money in the green room. I was able to network. YouTube videos. I was learning from videos from other YouTube content and other people that were making videos. So you always have to learn and grow. If you're just gonna stay stagnant, you're not gonna go anywhere because what are you gonna do then if you're not learning anything? I learn from people every single day. I learn from people online, tutorials, books, and I'm not some kind of millionaire. I never claimed to be, and I'm not gonna claim to be some kind of fake dude that has um, a bunch of stuff that I don't really have. I'm learning just like you are, but I am showing my progress and where I came from and where I hope to go, and that's what I'm trying to push out and how I can help people on my channel. So the number one tip, you gotta put in the work. Everyone has 24 hours in a day, and man, there's like so many people that I know that have done well. I mean, Craig Morris is another one. He's in the green room, two kids. They were like, I think they were moving, transitioning. He was just dominating Amazon FBA, insane numbers. And I'm like, man, this guy has a family, kids, he's moving, he's doing this and that. It's crazy. And there was another girl that I graduated with. She had two kids, two jobs while going to school, and she kept telling me, "I'm gonna graduate. I don't care if it's with a C. I'm gonna graduate. I'm gonna do everything that I can." Because even though I have to put my kids in daycare and I have to go pick them up after this, and I gotta go to class, and I got homework, and I gotta go to work, I'm gonna do everything I can to reach this goal. So you gotta put in the work. What do you want? And if you want to make that money, how are you going to do it? 24 hours in a day. I've talked about it a little bit as far as like my time management goes, because people ask me, if you're doing merch, Amazon FBA, eBay, YouTube videos, how are you doing it? And to tell you the truth, I try to maximize every single minute that I have. I go to bed late, I get up early, and sometimes if I want to do certain things, cool, I do it. I play basketball at 5 a.m. in the morning. I mean, I think that's like the most important workout for me. I love playing basketball, so I do that. I work out 5 a.m. On those days, Wednesdays and Fridays. And then when it comes to work-wise, then, I'm doing the freelance design stuff. I work with the family business. I'm doing YouTube videos. That's Monday and Thursday, so I have those scheduled out. eBay is cool because I can do the 30-day auction or 30-day, 10-day. I could put the items on there and I don't have to market these items. They're already on there. I just got to list them. So it's like the one-time listing thing. And same thing with FBA. I list them once, ship them out once. They're good to go. And then with merch, I think that's cool too because I can make the design once, upload it once, and I leave that on there. So all these things are kind of turning while I'm working with the family business. So I kind of have all that time there. But, as we talked about, everybody in different situations, it gets harder and harder because like I just bought a house. I'm going to get married in October. So things are coming and going and it gets crazy. But you gotta love the craziness and the madness that goes on because if you're not trying any new things or you're not doing anything, then obviously you're not growing. So there you go. But tip number one, put in the work, and you gotta create some type of schedule that works for you, especially if you have kids or you're working 2 or 3 jobs or you're doing some side hustles. Put in the work and do what works for you. But like I said, you got 24 hours in a day. Don't waste time playing video games. Don't waste time on Netflix because it will get to you. We're like, oh, well, binge watch this and I'll watch that. And you know what? Let me play Madden and let me play 2K. And I haven't played video games in a long time. I do have a PS4. It's super dusty, and it'd be cool to play more games. Yeah, sure it will. But it's even cooler to make money and pay off the bills and have some goals that you want to reach. And it's just awesome, the opportunities that's out there, and you can put in the work without having to have all of these jobs, because there's just opportunity online. You just got to search for it, have the knowledge, and learn more and grow. So there we go. I talked a little bit about, of course, my whole story there, my personal stuff as far as how I got there, and the tips. I hope they're helpful to you, and you can contact me anytime. hustlerhacks1@gmail.com. Hustler Hacks on YouTube, we're already on here, and Instagram @hustlerhacks. So there you go. Please feel free to contact me. Like I said, it could be about shoes, it could be about reselling, it could be about paying off debt. You're in a similar situation. Please let me know. I want to help you guys. I like talking to people. I like networking, and I like helping people out, especially when I get the emails that say, hey Glenn, I found this at Ross. I sold it and I made $50. Hey Glenn, I'm trying out FBA. I've been doing well on it. I've made an extra $200-300 a month. I mean, that stuff is awesome. I love hearing that stuff. So let me know. Contact me. And we talked about putting in the work. We talked about all these other tips. Actually, this one should be really the number one, which is go out and get it. My tagline. Why do I say this every single video? Because it's in your hands. The opportunity is there. Don't watch Netflix. Don't play video games. Don't. I know it's tough on Sundays, especially with the NFL coming up. I'm getting all these emails coming in. Hey, fantasy football, blah blah blah. I love fantasy football. Right now, it's not a priority. Will I get into it? Sure, because I love it. But don't get distracted from all these things that aren't going to help you financially, because they're just a distraction, and you just don't want to be in that same boat over and over, year after year after year. What am I going to do about this debt? It feels like it's going nowhere. So there is my advice. You guys already know. Go out and get it.